I'm sure I'm already live. Okay. Hi, I'm Heather. And if you've been around a little bit, you'll see that I've obviously been practicing consistent video creation, going live, practicing being, really showing up, come as I am, working with that, orientation towards avoidance of like, oh, I look like shit. I know I won't, whatever. I know that words hard today sometimes. So, and I'm just having a really fucking hard time getting some things done that are super important. So, this has been really helping me to have an imaginary future friend, but no, imaginary friend now that in the future will actually be somebody. I just happen to be ready to do this right now. They'll be ready another time. I think it'll be rare that there'll be somebody here with me at the same time until I actually try it to ask people to come. Okay, so what am I doing here? I am putting in soft time boundaries, kind of in the same way that, beginner bowlers, they put in those bumpers in the gutters. So I'm doing that with time. And trying to dig out of all the barriers between where I feel like I am right now and where I professionally know I can be and want to be. And all of it is a exploration of learning about autistic burnout, trying to bring the parts of me that know how to do amazing, like project management, creativity, delegating, inspiring kind of things. Like I know that I'm really good at that, but if I'm always too fucking tired, so trying to anywhere I can, I try to relieve my memory, my brain, my whatever, of things that aren't necessary to keep up here. So, example, this is an executive assistant in your hand or in your pocket, wherever you keep it. So the way I use it is I can't explain it all right now. I'll just say that sometimes it only takes like 15 minutes. If I can catch my like clear, things make sense. I can schedule stuff. If I can catch 15 minutes of that part of myself as it's pausing quick and then running away, I will organize my calendar for the day because I know the things I need to get done. And it looks like a lot, but it's color coded. So I know what is work, what is like personal, like for myself, or home. And green is like my like routines that I need to make sure I remember, like eat, shower. Those are in here. Why remember? Why pay attention? Like, oh shit, it's 9:30 and I forgot to shower today. Like, why do I have to think about that? She thinks about it, or it keeps track of it. So yeah, catch the 15-minute drive-by executive assistant part of me who like takes what she knows her boss needs to do and what her time looks like and schedules it all in, including breaks, including like personal time, because that's super important too. So I'm planned up to 5 right now. And top priorities today are yoni steam, because it is day 19 of my cycle and that's when I'm supposed to do it. I do intend to make part of the work I want to do is a short video while I'm doing that, and another one for my leader group about sleepovers. So right now, next 15 minutes, I need to get my yoni steam set up. So I'm going to set a timer. And as I get things I need, I'll just walk by the camera with it. I'm going to try to talk as little as possible so I can stay on track. All right, I have 1450. I don't think I'll need all that, but I'm going to estimate 10 minutes without rushing. We'll see. Okay, to add to context, um, I really don't feel well today. It's partially a cold. I haven't had one in a long time. Partially exhaustion. I'm sure a big part of it is autistic burnout. What I get to move through right now and experience differently than I have in the past. Um, I've now officially moved on to the tan food group, blended with white. And last night and this so far today, I've had one serving. My partner made my favorite white food is fettuccine alfredo, and um, part of the joy of it is there's finally a really good gluten-free fettuccine noodle. So good. It's at Trader Joe's in the refrigerated section. Um, they also have a dry section, a dry one, but it's only seasonal. Anyway, just an announcement. Moved on to the food group tan plus white, and this is what I'm going to make the yoni steam tea in. I'm going to start doing that right now. Okay, so I guess I forgot that I was going to make some food, so that did take full 15 minutes. So now I'm going to go boil the water, put the herbs in, let them, and then I'm going to put this in the little nest I made out of towels and my jeans, and I completely covered the squatty potty. So there's definitely not going to be a transfer of, oh, your feet go on that. But also, I usually clean it, and it's been cleaned recently, so I didn't have to do it right this minute. But yeah, it's covered, and patting with a towel. And so yeah, I have to wrap it up real good so that it doesn't cool off very fast. Supposed to sit on it for 30 minutes. And okay, so I'm gonna finish the setup. I'm gonna give myself another 5. That should be easy. During that, I'm gonna sit and eat while the water boils. Okay. someday I'll figure out how to do all this shit. So I've made myself a little table to put things on, with my partner's laundry basket and my little tray. And here's my yoni steam setup. Got my books handy, and I say all that because gotta prepare. Have everything. Oh, better turn the music off. Do. I like that song. Gotta have everything prepared because I'm not gonna get up for 30 minutes, and I like using what's available. I don't need a fucking real table. I just use what's available. That works great. And now I don't require a table to take up space. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go now. I by the time I get on, by the time I sit down, um, I know the tea will be steamed, will be brewed, and then at that point, it's just waiting until it cools down enough to sit with it comfortably. I might use cold water if I need to, but anyway, that's what I'm gonna go do now. So I don't anticipate being back for a minimum of 35 minutes, and I'm gonna journal and listen to chill music. That's yeah, whatever. I'm gonna journal and have that, and drink water and tea. And I have also started having some snacks from the orange food group, which luckily does include actual oranges, but also there's also Doritos in the orange food group. So I'm gonna do that too. Okay, 35 minutes. I'll be back when I'm back. Just say it's yoni steam time. Okay, so my post report, essentially, what did I work on? How successful do I feel about the time? How I spent the time? And are there any highlights or lowlights I'd like to share? So I'm not going to look at timing yet. I'll look at that later. I'm pretty sure it took longer than I'd allocated, but that's fine. I haven't done it in a long time. So it makes sense. My estimation, while educated on past experiences, was inaccurate. I am also moving a lot slower than usual. So I guess this would be maybe more reflective of the uh, exhaustive version of me, versus the like, I'm doing pretty decent version. So I want to express gratitude first and foremost for this electric kettle. I don't feel like saying how much I love it and why really a lot right now, but just to say, this means I have electricity, which is really exciting. This means that I do not have to carry wood or start a fire or manage it or like anything to heat up water. This means it can be right in my room and it's safe. Uh, there's a lot of things that are pretty great about an electric kettle. Okay. Appreciation for this. Nope, this. It's a calendar. It's a planner, but I use it in a variety of ways. So yeah, I've been fine tuning my use of this for a couple of years now, and currently, the way I like to use it is. There's a lot of days that I don't actually use it as a planner. And so if I didn't use it as a planner that day, it becomes a journaling page. And so at the top, I'll label the day that I'm journaling and maybe the context. Ooh, that's what I'm going to start doing. Context. Okay, in this case was red. Okay, so light, traffic light model. Thank you, Lindsay, and your Better Conversations Clean Languaging class. I am in a red state. I feel like caca. I am exhausted. I am burned out. I am, yeah, those things. My body feels that. And during these notes that I wrote, I was all during my yoni steam time. So that's there too. And then I just kind of let it come. I just let stuff come out. I just whatever felt like being written. And I think another thing I do that maybe doesn't occur to a lot of people is I don't necessarily like use a book like this page, then this page, then the next page. I might bounce around. I might write on this page and then go back and be like, actually, is there another empty page I can use back here? It's like, why? We're not, time isn't linear. So why do you have to use a journal or a notebook or whatever in a linear fashion? My brain bounces around. Does your brain bounce around? Let your notebooks bounce around. Just figure out your like way of keeping track. I use the Bujo indexing style. Anyhow, okay, so I don't remember the questions that Lindsay asks during her, she calls them an aliveness call, but they're probably some variation of what we were talking about last night. Oh yeah, I took notes. Awesome. In class. Okay. Also, for context, my knee hurts, so I'm gonna put this around it. It's not so painful that it's distracting me necessarily, but I do know that I need to be mindful and not to do funky things. Okay, do I have class in here? So here's another one of my notebooks. There's some indexing going on here, and this is not the notebook I need. Oh wait, no, it is. It is. Okay, I put their conversations here. Okay. All right. I guess these are more like conversational questions, but so I don't remember what her like investigative questions are, but I'm sure it's something like whatever. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna try to organize myself anymore. It's just inspired by that. Okay, so this is what brain fog looks like now. Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. I wanted to. So that better conversations part isn't helpful right now, and except for maybe to show a little bit of my organizational style. Oh, here, this is a notebook. No, this is a notebook I've used more. It does also happen to be blue. I think I'm gonna color code them by like time frame. And when I have multiple notebooks going, they'll all be blue. So this one I've been using longer, so it has a much more extensive index, and it's categorized by kind of the main categories. You know, work, friends, family, my partner, my household, collaborations, medical stuff, that kind of thing. So, oh, I forgot I renamed our house and I haven't told anyone yet. That's right. It is the place where art is born, home office. Yeah. Okay. That's what it's called. Okay. What happened? What happened was I wrote down a lot of the miscellaneous yet important thoughts that have been running through my head. Not quite like more like a stampede of squirrels. Yeah, a stampede of squirrels. A couple of highlights are I'm exploring how to do everything the way that is ideal for me while being inspired by whatever the way is, whether James Clear is an inspiration, astrology is an inspiration, bullshit that I learned in school is an inspiration at work, all that, but I take all of it together and take what works for me and leave the rest, just like in Al-Anon. Take what you like and leave the rest. Okay, where did then? Oh, okay. Page 1 of this. Oh, I've been trying to, I have found it kind of hilarious how I can't say if it's most, I just think it's going to be most of the responses for a little while. There have been some responses on recent videos that I've posted for the art of processing that have come from folks instantaneously. Probably as they're watching it, they're reacting and telling the person in the video, who is me, that I'm the idiot, or I'm out of control, or I should move out of my house. Yeah, so they are online illustrations of how people just let their fucking shadow come forward and right, that that makes them brave enough to share their experience. But for some reason, the folks who have a positive response, or a like, wow, that impacted me and I'm feeling something, but I know that, God, it's just more like she's reminded me of something. And so I'm grateful to this person whose video I'm watching, that they've helped me kind of understand something about myself better. Instead, these yahoos have like stumbled into my channel, which I consider to be kind of like a clubhouse, because already I have some friends who hang out here a lot, and we're going to start inviting more friends to come hang out here. And so these, these motherfuckers right here, they just come stumbling into my clubhouse and they go, what the fuck is going on in here? Oh, here's some lady crying and getting all mad and talking about shit. Man, she is ridiculous. She should not be the video was about me saying, hey, this housemate broke a house rule, a house agreement, longstanding house agreement, health need, not preference. He had a fragrance product, and when I brought it to his attention, he was just like, oh, well, by my standard, it was mild. Again, that's what I was talking about. And so, an illustration of how often men seem to just like dismiss, deny, defend themselves when anything, however benign it's brought up, is brought to their attention. So he's like, oh, well, by my standard. And so I was pissed. Like, there's no acknowledgement that you broke a house rule. There's no interest in my well-being. There's no like, hey, I'm sorry about that. I'll be more careful. I'll get rid of it. Fucker said he's going to keep it in his room. Anyway, so I'm talking about that, and these guys come in and like, oh, what's happening here? Hey, she should move out. She's out of control. Obviously, they have no fucking idea what's going on. Obviously, they have spent zero energy or attention even trying to figure out what's going on. What I wish would have happened is they would have been like, what the hell is this? I'm not interested in this, and took off. And, like, recognize they just poked their head in somewhere. They're like, I don't like what's happening here. I'm going. But these guys instead are like, what the fuck is happening in here? Oh, hey, y'all are stupid. You shouldn't be doing this. I don't feel good when I listen to you do that. And I'm like, well, get the fuck out then. I didn't invite you here. I just happened to be here. And if you come stumbling in and don't like what's happening, leave. And I don't need to hear about it. I didn't invite you in. So I just think it's so fucking weird. But it is an inspiration, so I can be grateful for the inspiration. And what it's inspiring me to do is recognize, okay, there's going to be a fuck ton of dipshits of it over time. We're going to show up around here and on art of processing, and even on my more professional channels. And they're going to be like, what the fuck is happening? Y'all are hysterical. You should, go get medicated. Like, I know we're going to hear all kinds of shit. And so rather than over and over again spend any length of time telling these folks, look, that isn't welcome here, please leave, is a video where I'll talk about it like, this is my clubhouse. I've invited some friends. Soon they'll be inviting their friends. Were you invited? No. Okay, this is a private clubhouse. Please leave. I don't like what's happening. That's okay. This is a private clubhouse. Please leave. So some variation of that, essentially. But translated for people who can understand metaphor and illustration. It's also an inspiration for like emotion, like illustrating lack of emotional maturity, a lack of understanding of how, especially an adult, can and is capable of being responsible for their feelings, of being self-reflective, of recognizing their impact on others. Unfortunately, far too many generations of folks have kind of grown up behind, younger than me. Their parents fucking let them get away with fucking anything. They didn't go outside enough to like learn how to interact, learn with the trees and the world and the dirt and the kids and the like environment. So there are all these like video game screen kids, and they're like, you can't talk to me like that. Like, I wasn't talking to you. You overheard me. I don't like the way you're talking. I don't care. Get out. You can't talk to me like that. I can't, because you just stumbled into my space and told me I can't talk to you like that. Get the fuck out. And too many parents and shit be like, oh, it's just that boys will be boys. There's a complete lack of respect out in the world. I can't tell you how many women I'm a Lyft driver, how many women get in my car and tell me stories of all these fucking motherfucking male drivers who are fucking assholes and decide, oh, I need to turn this into some sort of sexualized encounter, and I need to tell her how her appearance impacts me. I need to tell her how I want her to spend time with me. I need to not take no for an answer. I need to basically turn this moment where this woman is asking for a ride home from a space that is supposed to be safe, but unfortunately attracts all the fucking sleazeballs. And so the whole ride home, she has to steel herself and feel prepared and like deflect without without being too firm, because then the guy might overreact and then he might be like, oh, get out of my car. Then like it can go bad really fucking quickly. And what should not be happening is women should not be getting into goddamn Lyft or Uber or whatever and having to kind of deflect those sort of fucking advances. Should you be like, hey, I'm gonna give you a ride home. I hope you had a good night. If you don't want to chat, we don't have to chat. You just let me know. Like, that's what should be happening. Because also this woman is like, now this dude knows where I live. So there's all these like gymnastics we have to do to like put in a different address than are actually a house. Being prepared to have to fend off fucking men going, man, I think you're beautiful. It's gross. It's shadow kind of. It's not a like sexy romantic engagement. It's a shadow engagement. It's forceful. It's unwanted, and it fucking sucks how common it is still. So, yeah, when dudes in particular are who I'm going to think is going to fucking show up and going to be like all like butt hurt. So now I'm going to make a video where I'm like, okay, this idiot, he's another one of the idiots. Here you go. This is all the time I'll spend with you is cutting and pasting this video in response to you. I also will thank them for the inspiration. Like, I mean, I can feel grateful even for an idiot. Oh, it also is an inspiration. It's like, hey, pro tip, if you have a big reaction to something that you just watched, particularly if it's not directed at you, if you had a big reaction, that's yours. That has nothing to do with me. I just happened to stumble by and push your button accidentally by tripping and falling. That's all it was. You were walking by me. I was walking by you. We bumped into each other. If you're having a big reaction to anything I've said or done in these videos, that is yours. That is yours. Please don't turn around and be like, hey, you fucking bumped me, you spilled my drink. Like, no, that's again, shadow. That's not what we're fucking doing here. Just be like, oh, I'll be like, hey, sorry, I didn't know you were there. You're invisible to me. Also, trying to remember that. Invisible. I can't possibly know if I'm gonna bump into your shit. But I'm like, oh wow, I just bumped into something. And you might be bouncing around, but that is your balance, not mine. So I know that's gonna happen. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can be grateful for the fucking. Oh, it's a pro tip. That's right. Any big reactions, feelings, impulses are from your past. All I did was trip and fall into your invisible self. Um, your activation button is yours. If you're riled up, please stop now, turn around, and walk back out of my clubhouse. If you reach some insights over the next, I mean, stay away a minimum of 24 hours. Don't even consider coming back for less in. I prefer 48. I'll just say that. Don't even consider coming back unless you've been gone a minimum of 48 hours. Longer is preferred. And if you've reached some insights that you feel would be a supportive addition to the conversation, then you're welcome back. But do not come back. 48 hours minimum wait. Prefer that you just wait until you feel like, you know what, it'd be kind of fun to go back and say, hey, you know what I learned about myself when I got all pissed off at you? I learned this and this, and it inspired me to go learn this, and I met this person, and blah, blah, blah. So that's what I welcome, not the like, I'm mad at you because you said something that I think is wrong. Okay. All right. Also, I keep visualizing this sort of like war analogy, and I've never been to actual war. I've never been in okay, I can't say. I was going to say I've never been in a situation where people are trying to kill me or find me and kill me. That's actually not true because that has been the case, and there have been animals in that position. Anyway, okay, what can I honestly say? Essentially very few folks who, except for those who are unfortunately or have experienced wartime or some variation of that, is it's this grueling experience of people are trying to kill you and everyone that's important to you and everything that's important and everywhere that's important. People are just out to fucking fuck all that up. And that's in the physical experience. Like I have not had that kind of thing, and I'm grateful. I know a lot of people do. I wish that wasn't the case, but it does also provide some common language to explain or like try to basically put words to what it looks like to be what some folks would call a chronic illness warrior. Like what we're doing is also grueling and exhausting and painful and confusing and in an unfamiliar environment. In this case, though, very frequently, we're lost in the fucking dark woods somewhere by ourselves and don't have any idea if we're going to stumble on something that's helpful, if someone's going to find us and pull us out of the pit. We have no idea. We're just bumbling around, figuring shit out until we bump into somebody else who's like, hey, man, hey, we're in the same boat. Let's trade notes or something. But you never I mean, literally there's all these dangers and pitfalls and potholes, and it's just a fucking mess, and it feels like a war zone to us. It's like a forced march through unfamiliar territory, danger around every corner. Okay, here I wrote, okay, battle an ever-changing, evolving foe and landscape, often feeling alone, isolated, lost in the darkest parts of enemy territory. Okay. I've also been thinking about reframing and redefining. Kind of, there's so many words, and I don't understand how so few people are like, hey, I don't think we hold the same definition of that word. Maybe we should figure that out first before we base all of our assumptions and like expectations and interpretations about my definition of the word, and we don't have the same one, so it's all kind of, yeah, let's not do that anymore. I think it's time to actually, let's just talk about our definitions and then pick one that we want to stick with or put it together, whatever. So in this case, I'm trying to reframe, redefine the word sleepover. And the reason for that is because I have a cool space now that I can host stuff like sleepovers. And I have a whole lot of personal as well as professional as well as practiced experience um, in creating a space where a room full of adults can spend time together and there be no confusing sexy energy. It's just friends hanging out. We just all happen to be adults. We probably even cuddle. We're gonna play. We're gonna like do the fun stuff without all the confusion. Um, so that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. But I know there's folks who read that word and they're like, "Oh, God, I fucking hate sleepovers. You stay up too late. You eat a bunch of crap. You barf the next day. Like, fuck, I don't want to go to a sleepover." And then there's other people who are like, "I never got invited to any sleepovers. It hurts my heart, and I don't know what happens at sleepovers." And then there's others who are like, "Oh my God, a bunch of grown-ups all spending that is definitely going to get sexy at some point. I sure as heck don't want that." Or, "Oh, that's sure going to get sexy at some point. I'm in." No, no, I promise, none of that. None, 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 none. Um, uh, Actually, all the cuddle space in our room, my partner and I, is all none of them are sex party mattresses at all. They're cuddle party mattresses, and there's okay, well, the one we sleep on, obviously we have some sex, but as appropriate. Okay, what else was I getting at? Right, so I want to reframe sleepover because all these people have all these different definitions, and so as I'm planning it, I think what would help to kind of help folks overcome the like, "Oh God, that sounds awful," or "Oh, that's amazing. I love it when this, and this happens," and then we don't do those things. Okay, so to create a shared definition, I will try to paint an image of what it looks like. But first, that's right, that's what I'll do. I gotta, as always, gotta fucking make disclaimers for myself and prove that I know what I'm talking about so that people don't spend the entire time being in disbelief. Like, did you think of this? Did you think of that? I can't imagine you thought of this because I've done 15 of those sort of things. Okay, here's the thing. I that's why I practice first because I do get really irritable. But it's not fair to be irritable because very few people know these things about me. All right, so again, a context piece. What I'm bringing to this redefining of sleepover as well as hosting a sleepover is more than 7 years of being a Girl Scout leader for every level from kindergarten through 7th grade. We did all kinds of fun stuff, including camping trips and sleepovers and game nights and just like lots. Business stuff, like the business stuff was actually pretty damn fun. Um, so I'm bringing all of that. I'm also bringing basically a lifelong skill. I guess could be said one of my special gifts or geniuses is creating memorable, unique, uh, unexpected, usually um, events, experiences, um, environments, mostly group activities is what I've always specialized in. So I've got the 7 years of Girl Scouts. I've got 7 years of having huge budgets to create the Christmas party and employee recognition and retirement parties back when corporate America still sent expensive thank you gifts to their clients, like big money, 20 grand back in the 90s kind of thing. So I've done that. I've done for another 7 years that obviously I have a cycle. I planned activities for huge groups of alumni for the University of Oregon, networking events, the Grand Floral Parade. I organized watch parties. I organized the volunteers who were in the parade multiple years. I yeah, luncheons for presidents of the university as well as uh, leaders in the business community. Like, yeah, I'm bringing all that. That's context that I'm bringing. Also bringing my practice over the past few years of yes, I still have like inner child healing that I'm working through and exploring and stuff, but really I'm stepping more into my preteen teen years, um, kind of working, being with that part of me. The child part's feeling actually pretty decent, and now it's time to pay attention to that older child part of myself. So what that looks like is cozy, soft, um, blankets everywhere, a ridiculous number of pillows. They have everything is multi-purpose. That's what one thing I really like. It only feels cluttered when everything is not put away. I have two video game systems. Well, technically I have four, but two of them are going to go live other places soon. No, I have five. But oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, a big screen that I can connect my computer or my Xboxes or Wii's to. Um, a flop couch. Like, it's a dream come true for a preteen or teenager. It's really big. It's yeah, walk-in closet, private bathroom. It's amazing. So, yeah, I'm inviting people into that sort of space, very clearly held platonic boundaries. Um, and it's a blend of like, and let's invite our inner playfulness and co-creativity, and just kind of be like, okay, well, here's a menu of options of things that are possible here, or because no one knows what I have, so I gotta tell them what we have to play with over the time we're gonna spend, so that we don't spend a bunch of time going, I want this and I want that. What if we did this? No, let's not spend so goddamn much time in our heads. So yeah, it always helps me to vomit out as many words as possible before I try to actually do the actual video. Okay. What else? Yeah. No, there's to reduce steam weight. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, it's also helping me kind of identify what sort of stuff people need to understand or know before they'll feel comfortable. So they want to know that it's not overly structured. No problem. That's why there's going to be menus of options. Sort of a higgy style, which is cozy, comfy, contentment, not real high energy. There's like, we could project a movie on the wall, and people aren't going to know that kind of thing. One of the games I have, probably nobody even knows, or has, most people haven't even used, is a super old school game system where we can dance competitively, but also just really for fun. And like, that's a really fun game. So that's something I would want folks to know as an option. Yeah. Okay. Clearing a lot of that helps. Okay, did I have more pages? I thought I had more pages. Oh, I've also been really angry lately about stuff where, like, just because only one person is speaking up and saying something is not working out, if there's a group involved, it just means that only one person is speaking up. It doesn't mean that only one person is impacted. Same with that. Another strategy I'm using is to keep dumping things out of my brain so I don't have to think about it again. So I'm going to write down, I need to find my blood pressure cuff because I need to check the accuracy of my watch. Because if my watch is to be believed, my average heart rate is really quite high. I think primarily from stress. And yeah, so I think I should verify that data and talk to my doctor about it. And the reason I've been even paying attention is because the physical therapist said you have to get a minimum of 10 minutes a day, heart rate over 120 through exercise. And then I started going, well, my heart rate is often over 120 when I'm just thinking or walking around the house or talking or something. So, yeah, gotta find the blood pressure cuff and verify data. Okay, getting up to do something specific besides write down blood pressure cuff. Oh, that's right. I'm getting my weighted blanket, and I'm gonna lie back down for a while. I've adjusted my calendar schedule to be accurate up to this point today, and kind of plan out the rest of the afternoon. And I identified there are multiple things that I originally thought were going to happen today, just are not. Just are not. I'm moving them off today and moving them to tomorrow. And when my executive assistant pops back in, she will make a proposed schedule for tomorrow, working those things in, hopefully, without over scheduling. Okay, yep. Lay down time. Weighted blanket. I'm not sure if I'm not sure what else. For second lunch, which is fettuccine alfredo with gluten-free pasta, cause it's in the white food group. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get some of that too. Yeah, before I go, I'm gonna get everything ready in my nest, and then I'm gonna go smoke some weed, get my lunch, come back and lay down. All right, well, I prepare my cannabis for going downstairs. I remember this is something I'm really enjoying doing lately. Um, I started doing it because, well, my friend does this kind of thing, but I found neurographic, I think it is neurographic drawing as a method for like um, creating new neural pathways. And so, yeah, here's an example where I was following like the instructions a little bit more. Anyway, it is a method for creating new connections in your brain instead of the like, I hate this and everything, and I have thoughts that I wish I didn't have, or whatever. Um, it's a method of clearing that and laying in new potential neural pathways. Anyway, look it up if you want. I'm gonna go do those downstairs things now. Okay, so uh, as I said earlier, I stayed homesick today, uh, and while I was at first quite upset about how much money I could have made if I had gone to work, um, I also have to recognize that I do use Lyft as a means for calculating my current the current value of of it of my time. So yeah, I'm going to speak to that in a second. I'm going to make a bunch of noise for a minute. Mute. Okay, I'm grinding my weed because I like it not finely ground, but definitely. I hate breaking buds off of my fingers. I do it only when I have to, and I hate doing that as a means of just making it smaller for. Anyway, I like grinding it. Anyway, so value. Uh, so I knew I was starting to feel sick last night. I just made a plan with my partner and just said, hey, can you be extra quiet tomorrow when you're getting up and leaving? You know, that means he's got to prepare himself in advance. He's got to have his clothes laid out. He's got to be prepared to be super quiet in the morning. And it worked. And so I slept until like a little bit about 8. And I looked at my app and went, motherfucker. Because the high bonuses were $9 per trip. And it was big bonuses all over town. So I could have just, yeah, I based on my data driven like estimates of what I could have made this morning in I probably would have worked a total of 3 hours. It was definitely at least $100 to $125 morning. Probably would have gotten in, I don't know, a minimum of 9 trips. My actual average is 3.5 an hour. Um, so yeah, I gotten a whole bunch ranging from 350 to $10 because that was another price point I saw shortly thereafter for all those trips. It really fucking adds up. So I think I've actually underestimated. And then this afternoon, I've set alarms to look at the app and see what is the afternoon shift. What does it look like? What do I believe I could have earned in the afternoon shift? Because generally Thursdays are a day I drive twice. So yeah, I'll be able to estimate based on the bonuses I'm seeing and my typical average of $35 an hour, and I will be able to identify what my current value is per day, which I'm estimating it's going to be 225. We'll see. Okay, yeah, time for me to move on to the next thing. The next thing is I am preparing some cannabis for rehydration. I buy it in an ounce so that it's way, 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 way cheaper, and I don't have to go to the stores often. But it usually is old and dry. Not old. It's really not old. It's just very dry. So I have to rehydrate it, and my favorite way is to take a little bit out, just what I'll need for I don't know, a day or so, and I'll put orange peels in here, and then I'll close it up and check it every few hours until it feels like it's how I like it. So that's one of my tips for keeping costs down, while also not restricting myself, and costs also meaning time spent going places. So, okay, thank God it's no longer black market, but still, don't want to do it a lot. white and orange. The orange is salmon. Okay, time for again. I've been lying down. I've been drawing. Oh, I was okay. I finished this one, which I like a lot. Give me some ideas of how I want to like try to explore like how to make things look consistent or just I don't know. So I started on another one, and that's good. That's the reason that's important is because um, my brain is almost always working, and if I can just get into the lines and then what it looks like and color, like I that's something that can be very meditative. So that's one way that I try to let my brain rest. Um, I did eat my second lunch, which was very good. It's time for me now to get my castor oil packs set up. I need to do my right toe and my left knee. And during that time, I plan to try to find an email I got from my podiatrist and order photos, which I have to get that done today because I get 100 free per month. So I got to get that done. Um, and I'll shower at some point. And I'm not sure what else will happen before my partner gets home at 6:20 or 30 or whatever. Mostly resting probably because I still feel like caca. All right, I'm gonna do the castor oil packs and more drawing. And it's been quiet. Oh, I've been listening to the rain and the wind. That's what I'm listening to. Um, yeah, just really trying to do what the doctor said. The doctor guy, whatever. Yeah, rest, quiet, um, very, very mild activities, um, no screens, that kind of stuff. So more of that. I am going to attempt to just by setting a goal, try to get my castor oil pack set up, all set up so that I'm ready to lie down with I'm aiming for 15 minutes. So set a timer for 15 minutes. There we go. Okay, get my castor oil pack stuff set up.